Hello everybody, welcome to MRC this week for Tier 3. We're going to be racing around Abu Dhabi, the second home I'd say, well not, yeah, he doesn't really enjoy it, but it is his second home, Michael Massey, the annual Michael Massey Grand Prix, hopefully with a bit less controversy. But yeah, we currently have a Mercedes coming up in the final sector with a Red Bull, I believe, just behind as well. Oh no, he isn't. It must have been another car. My apologies. But yeah, Connor is the first car to try and set a lap around this track. And tonight with me, I'm joined by one of the legendary commentators around this league. It's the Bitmeister Bitticus. How are you?
Good evening. Not too bad. Last race for Tier 3, let's see if they can put on just as a good show as you lot did in Tier 1 early in the week.
Oh, that was a fun race. Tier 1. So sweaty. Yeah, if it's anything like that, Tier 3 guys will have deserved their break, season break coming up. Well, we're talking about the season break, but it's not really a season break because we've got plenty of other races coming up. We've got fun races, but also some X and Xtreme races during the break. So we've got 2 coming up, I believe, for X. One of them is this week, which is Brazil, the 100% race, I think. And
yeah,
next week will be, yep.
Then like as you've about to say, the following week will be the F2 cars for X as well, plus the
Qatar,
rerun at Kota for Xtreme, which you also mentioned.
So that's one of the races. Well, some of the races. Yeah. In the dare I mention it, the Latifi corner. So Connor already trying to find the limits at that place. 25.4. That's a good banker. Yeah, very decent on mediums. So Flaherty, of course, goes quicker, but not that much quicker considering he's on mediums, on softs. So he must have had a mistake somewhere. Who else is about to set a lap? Sabi's invalidated. What about Mutsnuts? Can he go and join Flaherty at the top? He actually beats him with a 24, just under the 24.8 mark, so he'll be happy with that. Who else do we have? Is it... no, Scottish Ninja is starting his lap. Let's keep an eye on him. Man, only Marjorie beats him. 24.7.
Smith's gone P3.
Yeah, less than a tenth away, so both Mercedes look like they've brought a few upgrades this weekend from South Africa. As Jackster. Yeah. Jackster, may I mention, must have an incredible setup. On the mediums. Oh, yeah, didn't notice that. Yeah, he is on mediums, so he's got probably another 3 or 4 tenths in him. Considering that's a banker as well. Yeah, this is looking like a very good start to the session for Jackster. Who else do we have on a lap? We've got a Scottish man who absolutely loved the drama back in 2021. In the middle sector right now, he's on the back straight, opening the DRS. Around this... how would you describe this track?
I don't know really, because obviously it's you got some low speed corners, but predominantly high speed, and the tyre wear around here is almost identical to what we had last week in Qatar, especially with the medium tyres going off so quickly. And the only difference is, instead of the front left taking the hammering because of it being Qatar being clockwise, because this circuit's anti-clockwise, it's the front right tyre that gets most of the strain around this track.
Exactly. So yeah, tyres are again going to be absolutely crucial during the race, as Gav has a bit of a slide on the exit of the final corner, but goes into P6 with a 25.3. We don't have many other drivers on track right now. We did have Scottish Ninja who started the lap. No, he's actually finished his lap. He did a 25.6, yeah.
P8 medium tyres. A few people setting bankers on mediums. Personally, I would have saved both sets of mediums for the race with the obvious tyre deg, but
I completely agree with you.
in the cars.
Nah, I completely agree with you, mate. Mediums are very precious around this track. Maybe the hards are more precious, but you can't use them anyway in qualifying. But yeah, you do tend to want to keep those mediums for this race because they go off so quickly. You want that grip, especially if you have a late safety car at the end. You want that medium grip.
Yeah, and just like Qatar as well, the soft tyre is pretty much just a bona fide qualifying tyre because you're not really going to get much out of them in the race. They'll probably start dropping off within about 4 or 5 laps.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not even that. Halfway around your qualifying lap, softs are just, not good. Not good at all around this track. Around most tracks, anyway. Flatty, I'm not quite sure if he's on a lap or not, but we'll soon see on the second sector split. I think he's on a lap. We're going to see. No, he's 1.3 off. So he must be going into the pits right now. So
Wookie's on his first run. He's coming into the latter stages. Just
we'll be following this then. Yeah, staying well clear of the walls there. Coming up to the final part of the track. Has used all of his deployment. 23.9. That's a very good lap. I can't remember what. Yeah, I think Tier 2 was a 22.9 pole, was it? 22.8, I can't remember. It was something around that mark.
It was a 22.8, 22.9. It was a very high 22.
So we're currently about a second off from the Tier 2 pole at the moment. We don't have many drivers on track at the moment, and Connor's started his lap, so let's go on board with him. Going into the end of the first sector, you need to brake around the 50 meter board. The later you brake here, the braver you are, and the more rewarding it is if you get it right. You want to stick towards the middle of the straight here, because for a weird reason the track just comes back to the left, which happens right now. Connor will brake around the 100 meter board, does lock his rear tyres a little bit, goes through the very, very bumpy chicane, loses a bit the rear on the exit, goes onto the second DRS straight here, uses plenty of ERS to reach that top speed as quickly as possible, brake around the 50 or even 40 meter mark, try and stay as close to the inside as you can, bring as much speed on the exit, full throttle here, and you want to go here, you want to take a bit more curb, same here, you want to take some curb, extend here, extend on the exit, go as close to the wall as you can, as close as you dare. You can take plenty of curb in these corners. It's very rideable, and it is an improvement for him. It's an 9/10 improvement, goes up to second for a 1:24.5. That was a lap with Connor. Thank you for not spinning around, Connor.
Yeah, that pops him ahead of his teammate provisionally. Mika, one of our newest recently joined members, also not a PlayStation user, he's a PC user, so for the first time Tier 3 has gone cross-play for this one, because we have a PC user amongst our contingent, and he set an opening lap of a 1:28.3, so still finding his feet. I think he's just come together with Connor.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that.
Connor with a 5 place grid penalty as well. That's not going to be.
Yeah, I know Mika, Connor. And he's I'm basically the one who brought Mika over, and he's absolutely learning the game right now. So he's probably going to be getting a penalty for that. But yeah, honestly, it is to be expected with him. He's learning he doesn't mean to do that. He's honestly learning the whole kind of communication between the drivers. We've got Winky as well, who's come back and is driving. So hopefully, I think he's going to be having a full-time seat next season. So it's nice to see him back. Who do we have currently on a lap? We've got Sabi in a wall out of turn 1. We've got Smith. I think he went purple in the middle sector, but I'm not entirely sure. He's got still a bit of ERS to go, so yeah, he must be on a lap. I don't know how much time he found in the middle sector though. He stays well clear from the wall, no risks taken there. There was a good line through the penultimate corner. You want to stay close to the edge of the track here. He goes P2. Really good qualifying session as it stands for Smith. 24.5.
So that's two Ferraris and two Mercedes in that top 5.
Mm-hmm. With a rogue...
Aston Martin on pole
Fernando Alonso, yeah. Scottish Ninja set his first time. His first proper time because he wasn't... Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just... Steve's in the YouTube chat wishing all the Tier 3 drivers good luck on their final race. Which is nice.
Flatty's on the lap as well, so Scottish Ninja's teammate trying to find even more time, our champion for this season in Tier 3. He does find 4/10 of a second, so that would bring him up to P2 as it stands, but still miles away from Wookie up in P1. Wookie's in the pits right now. Oh no, he's on an outlap, excuse me. So yeah, Scottish Ninja set his first proper time because he set his first lap on medium tyres. So 24.6 is a very good... It's not a banker because it still is the second lap, but it's a good first soft tyre time. So what can Flaherty do in that final sector? He's extended and it's not invalidated his lap, which is strange, but yeah. 24.1, that will have cost him probably a tenth or two. So 4 minutes left. He does have time to go back to the pits and probably get back out. Wookie is nearly 2/10 down in the first sector, so no improvement from him. But he's a reserve driver. But how lovely is it to see a Leeds United fan in a Williams, which was driven by Nicholas Latifi, a Leeds fan. He's got a Leeds helmet. Leeds is sponsored by Red Bull on a track which is legendary for Red Bull racing. Honestly, Chris, nobody else could drive that Williams tonight other than you. Right, Gav.
You had to throw that in there, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I had to. I mean, he can't win there. There's so much. He loves Williams and he loves Leeds, but you know that had to happen at Abu Dhabi.
Dhabi is probably one of the worst nightmares for somebody of his stature, that's for sure. Mind you, he's not Mercedes anymore, is he? He's Ferrari, because obviously Hamilton is now officially Ferrari as Wookie. He's gone for a 23.7.
I thought he was still in the middle of his lap. That's a really good improvement. Was it 2/10 improvement, I think? A 10.5 improvement. So if he's got enough life in his tyres, he can just slow down for this lap, recharge his battery, and go... Oh no, he doesn't have any fuel left. Who else do we have? We've got Night Shadow in the final sector, but he will be starting another lap afterwards. It's CBG Sambal who will be the next one to set a lap time. So we'll follow him as he comes to the end of the first DRS zone. Has a good exit here. You want to stay pretty close to the left of the track, minimize the wheel spin. And yeah, DRS all the way till this long banked corner. He's finding just about a tenth of a second, so that would not improve his position, but does improve his time, of course. What about Winky? What does he do in the middle sector? We're coming up to the split in 3, 2, 1. He does find 0.6 of a second, so he would go up to P11 as it stands, but plenty more time to find in the final sector to beat Sambal. So, Sambal, final corner, stays clean on the exit. It's a very cautious lap from him. He's found 0.3, so gone up to P9. He's beaten Gav. What's about Winky? He's in that final sector, but he must have had a moment somewhere because he's ghosted right now. So, yeah, no, he's not full throttle. He might be going back to the pits, yep. And everybody be careful to go into the pits properly, not only because it's the rules, but also because this track is very badly laid out on the game. And you probably will be getting track warnings if you touch a line, which is ridiculous. Even on the inside of the of the corner. So yeah, be careful on your corner on your pit entries. It's probably the worst track there is notoriously.
Improvement for Gav has just gone P5. Sorry to cut in there, Ants.
P5 for him. Okay. We know he's got really good race pace, so if he's got some good qualifying pace as well, it's looking really good for Gav. But up there as well, we've got Connor, and Smith, as we said, has been having a really good qualifying session. He should be coming up to the end of his lap as well. But first of all, we will have Connor to cross the line. He's used all of his deployment, so he's going to lose a bit of time on the exit of this corner. He does find 0.2 of a second to go up to P3, but what can Avinash do about this? He's going to start his lap, so we will go back to him shortly. Who else do we have? Sabi is not on the lap.
Jackster just going through 6 and 7.
Indeed. Yep, Jackster found a little bit of time in that first sector. It's hard to find time in the first sector, and to an extent in the middle sector as well. It's pretty much 2 corners every time. He's found 3.5 tenths. Yep. So that would bring him up to P3 as it stands, but as I said, this is where the time is. It's the final sector where there's a lot of technique to be used. Very low grip, so low speed, low downforce, and yeah, it's all on mechanical grip in this final sector, especially in the hotel section. Goes up to the penultimate corner. I think Smith is the first one. No, he has invalidated, so will not be improving. Where can Jackster go? He goes P2 with a 0.6 improvement. Flaherty's on a lap as well, but there is Connor just behind who has invalidated. So we will not be seeing any more from him. Avinash is coming up in the final sector. I'll just check that Flaherty. No, it's not Flaherty. It's a Red Bull, which we will not be seeing, but Avinash then is the next one we'll be watching cross the line, coming up to the final corner. Again, you want to take a lot of curb on the exit, and it does. It's looking good. It's P4. I thought it was better than that. Excuse me. Flaherty, though, has got a 0.3 improvement, and he's looking on it for pole position. He's run out of deployment, had a bit of a moment there mid-corner. Can he keep it clean to the line? It's only P3. He hasn't improved in that final bit, and that will be it for qualifying. We've got Wookie, Jackster, and Flaherty in our top 3. So yeah, our champion is in P3 right now. Wookie, one of the quickest qualifiers we've got in this division, and Jackster, well, he's Dutch, so he knows his way around this track. And may I add, gave quite a few of us his setup, and it worked a treat for us.
I can vouch for that one as well, because I too used it.
Yeah, I mean, it was hard for me to find a good setup. It didn't feel that different to what I had, but it was a little bit better in the long runs. So, kudos to Jackster with that setup. Anyway, first of all, we will be looking at the grid right now. Wookie, Wookie on pole with Jackster and Flaherty behind. Avinash, Scottish Ninja, Connor with a 5-place grid penalty, which I think is a bit dodgy, and we might see him and Mika in the stewards. Smith, Night Shadow, Mutts Nuts, CBG Sambal, Sabi, Winky, Mika, Single Track Airways, Chris, Arma Red, Laupi, Saviour, and Hive Eclipse round out the grid. Did Hive Eclipse have a grid penalty?
I don't know, because
qualifying penalty.
I can't remember, because I don't think I've seen anything put down to say that he had or not.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to them.
Obviously, because it's dusk, but you don't realise how dark it is when you're in the car, but in the comms box, you get a good idea how dark it's going to get.
Yeah. I'll just be pausing the game for a moment, go on to the race director so our viewers can have a quick look at what the tyre strategies are looking at for the moment, because our drivers have a 5-minute break where they can pick the strategy, fine-tune their, their fuel loads. They can change their front wing angle, they can change their tyre pressures, all 4 of them. Brake bias, what else? Differential. So they have a few toys to play with for those 5 minutes, or just go and have a break and have a Kit Kat. So other biscuits are available on the market. And Biticus knows a hell of a lot about them.
Oh, that's never going to die, is it?
Nah, it's not. Right,
yeah,
so
yeah.
What have you been thinking about this qualifying session with the results we've had?
Well, the funny thing is that we noticed is obviously the top 3 in the championship are reversed in the top 3 of the grid, because obviously champion and first place is in third. You got Jaxter, who's sitting second in the championship, who's second on the grid, and you got third place Wookie on pole. It's only 12 points between Jaxter and Wookie, and Avanash is a further 6 points off of Wookie. So those 3 are in contention for second place, because obviously Flattery has clinched the title last week in Qatar.
Yeah.
It's only 2 points separating Ferrari and VCARB, so that's going to be a tasty scrap between those 2 teams in this final race of the season. Mercedes a further 23 points back off of VCARB, 25 points behind Ferrari, so they've got to expect some kind of miracle to take the constructors. So I would say the fight is pretty much with Ferrari and VCARB for the constructors.
That's the way it's looking, but to be honest, Connor's down in P11, but he really should have been P6. Both Mercedes look like they've got the pace today. So if Jaxter gets the win, that's 25 points, right? And say Connor finishes P4, it's another 12 points. So they're currently 25 points away from Ferrari. If Ferrari have an off day and, VCARB need both Flaherty and Scotch Ninja to beat that, Mercedes are in with a shout here, I think.
Yeah, it's still mathematically a 3-way fight for the constructors.
Yeah, it's actually a four-way fight.
Yeah,
it's a four-way fight.
Sorry, but Aston Martin very slim mathematical chance.
The issue with them is that they've got Armagh Red as a reserve.
They've got a high-tier driver reserve. It
exactly.
won't count to the drivers, but it will count to the constructors.
However, with all the pit stops he's got to do, he'll probably be very far down the order, so not many points will come from him tonight. So it's not looking good for them. But I think Mercedes have a sneaky chance of doing it tonight. I think Connor's got a good pace tonight. He looked really good in his qualifying. I think didn't he set his first lap on mediums as well? He was one of those guys, wasn't he?
Both Mercedes drivers went mediums for their first run.
Yeah, I think that shows a bit of confidence from him, which he's been lacking quite a bit this season, but I think that's been showing quite a bit of confidence in qualifying. Right, the 5-minute break should soon be coming to an end, I believe. Let me have a quick look at... Well, I've got so many things to look at. We go at 19:28, so it's just ticks over to 19:28. Try and picture the F1 TV or F1 whatever broadcast when they go to the Rolex watch, and the hand ticks over to the full minute, and we're about to start our formation lap around this very legendary... I would say now it's gone down in F1 folklore, this track, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been on the calendar since 2009, and I think it's been the final round of the season since its debut on the 1st
I think it was
November.
2012. 2012 was...
2012. Okay.
2012 was Sao Paulo, Brazil, and there must have been another race somewhere along the lines. Maybe 2013 was... maybe 2011 as well, I'm not sure, but it's not always been the final round, but more often than not.
Just have a look at tyres. Majority have gone mediums. There's a few hard tyre runners. Obviously, the higher tier drivers mixed strategy as well. You've got single track on the hards, but most of the higher tier drivers have gone for the soft tyres to try to get that stop first stop done and out the way early, because
exactly,
as we know, higher tier drivers must make 3 stops, one on the second to last lap. But if they pit under safety car, it does not count towards the tally of 3.
It doesn't, so, indeed. And they get disqualified, but it really doesn't matter because they're reserving, so... I mean, I got disqualified, and it really doesn't matter because I'm just there to drive and make up the numbers.
Probably the best example.
I really couldn't... I mean, they don't care either. They're just here to have a bit of racing. I mean, I think all of them are racing in Xtreme later on as well, so after this race, stick around. There will be a half an hour break because we've got Xtreme coming up. It's our non-assist tier, so be sure to tune in for that. You will be seeing some Chris Bailey action around Abu Dhabi. So yeah, as we were saying, Smits and Mats Nuts, as well as Mika and Single Track on hard tyres. Actually, no, Single Track doesn't matter because he's not tier 3. But yeah, very ballsy from these guys to go for the hard tyre because I think it's the best strategy. Hard medium is the best, I think, around this track. But get a safety car about lap 10. You don't want to do 16 laps after that. No, maybe 17 laps on medium tyres. You don't want that. So they'll be praying that a safety car doesn't come out anytime soon. Anyway, our grid is set now. Waiting on hard clips.
The grid positions. But it's okay.
As it goes 5 green light, red lights.
Ooh,
we'll be looking at Avinash. That is not the start that V-Carb wanted.
2 jump starts by the looks of it. I think Sabi's got one as well. So we've got 2 jump starts off the grid, and Jack's already going for the lead.
Yeah, he does take the lead from Wookie, and Avinash surprised Flaherty as well. So the top 4 are kind of breaking away. Actually, no, because we've got Gav just behind in the McLaren, staying within touching distance of the V-Carb. The V-Carb really tucked in the slipstream of Avinash. But it looks like he's dropped out a little bit for this corner. He doesn't want to go for a move just yet. And yeah, everybody's following in. But yeah, we've got Flaherty still going towards the inside, cutting back, trying to get a better exit on the second DRS straight, which isn't a DRS straight just yet because we're on the first lap of the race. We've got a 3-second time penalty for Sabi. How are things... Chris Bailey's got the start of his life. Let's have a look at position changes because he's gained 10 positions. Is it one of those dodgy? Well, he's not the host tonight, but yeah. Had he been the host, we'd have put it down to a dodgy host advantage. Like we've got a Red Bull spinning around in the background. It's Mats Nuts. He's lost he's lost an end plate there. Both end plates, so he's probably going to be pitting this lap. And if I remember correctly, he's on hard tyres. He's on hard tyres, so this is not going to plan.
As well. Ninja's just dropped it out the final corner.
Oh, he's having to. He'll be having to serve a drive-through as well. Oh my goodness, that's very ugly. Spinning around on the start-finish straight. Anyway, we've got Wookie in the lead with a slight lead over Jackster, but Jackster will be having the DRS on this straight. As you can see, they are all wide open apart from Wookie's. So that gap between the 2 leaders is going to be reducing very quickly as Jackster gets down to 2 tenths away from Wookie. And he will probably have a go at it at the end of this straight. He's looking he's a bit too far away. So yeah, 5 tenths away, he won't be going for the move. But we've got Avinash going very close to Jackster as well, just biding his time. Sets a purple sector here. We will probably be seeing the fastest lap of the race until the next pit stops, I'd say, because of how quickly the tyres degrade over here. But the grid is pretty split out right now. Look at that. We've got Single Track 2 seconds away from Smith in P6, and behind him is Sambal 3 seconds behind, and that's only after 2 laps. What's been happening?
There was a few congested parts towards the tail end of the field. Obviously, we know how towards the back end of the pack it seems to get very bunched up, people trying to make room for each other, and obviously a few drivers spinning it here and there. And you mentioned about people gaining places. He's keeping it quiet as we've got a virtual safety car, but I'll continue. Connor is up to P8 from his grid penalty that he obtained in qualifying after miscommunication. So, as you were saying in between qualifying and the race, both Mercedes with decent pace under the belts, and Connor showing that well, and obviously Jackster as well with keeping hold of second place, keeping in touch with Wookie's Aston in these early stages. As we got green flag again.
Yep, very early doors in this race, but we will try and keep you updated on what this means for the drivers. Well, no, not the drivers, but the teams championships. As it stands, Mercedes are looking really good for it because they're outscoring Flatty, and we've got Scottish Ninja at the bottom of the order, having served a drive-through and been struggling with his rear tyres towards the end of lap 1. Everybody's pretty bunched up. That top four and top 5, I'd say.
His drive-through yet. Sorry to cut in hands. He's not served it yet. He's still got the DT next to his name, so he's not served it yet.
Well, he's got to serve it now because he's going to be disqualified if he doesn't. And I'm surprised. He probably didn't the lap before because of the virtual safety car, and because of this game being this game, you don't know. No, you shouldn't be able to do it, but yeah. You prefer being sure about it. Right, another time we're going to be going on this double DRS straight. Wookie is looking comfortable in front. I don't know if that's just Jackster biding his time or if it's actually Wookie having very good top speed. I've seen a few drivers being very quick on the straights and not being able to pass them very easily, so he could be one of them. But it's still looking good for him. Looking good for any of those top 4. Gav has dropped back a little bit. He's 1.4 seconds behind Flatty, behind the group, and Smith's dropped right back, but bear in mind, he's on hard tyres at the moment, so the tyres will come back to him in the next 3 to 4 laps, I'd say. And he could be closing that gap again to the guys in front. I think Scottish Ninja's served it now.
Yeah, he has served it now.
Okay,
Connor is currently P7, but he's got airways all over him. And Connor, despite having an M plate missing, is keeping the car steady, keeping it nice and tidy, doing what he needs to do for Mercedes in the hopes for the constructors, because. With Jackster in second, they've got a decent haul of points coming.
Yep. It is indeed. I wouldn't be surprised if he just lets Airways go through, because with end plate damage, he's going to be losing quite a bit of time. And if you can just follow Airways, the DRS and the slipstream is really powerful around this track, especially with very high wings. So yeah, he can just follow Airways and limit the damage he's got. He's got CBG Sambal just behind him. One thing that will help him though, the front wing damage he's got, is in that chicane at the end of the first DRS straight, in between both DRS straights. He will be stable around that section. It's very easy to spin around on the exit of the right-hander. So that's the silver lining, let's say. He'll probably have to reduce his front brake bias to have a bit more rotation in the corners. He's lost that DRS gap to Airways. Airways being a tier 2 driver, much quicker. So it was kind of to be expected. What about the guys in front? We've still got the 4 all packed together, all in a DRS train, and Gav is dropping right down. He's been caught by Smith right now.
Let's have a look at that battle before the final corner, which has brought a safety car out. Hive round in between turns 15 and 16.
And this has turned into a nightmare for the likes of, only Smith, because everybody else had already pit for medium tyres. Yeah, Smith is on hard tyres right now, 6 laps into this race, and if he doesn't pit right now, he will have to be pitting later on, and basically he's hoping for a later safety car. That's what he'll be banking on. Or he pits now believing that, yeah, there won't be another safety car, but he'll drop way down the order. Actually, no, he won't drop down the order because everybody will be pitting for hards. But there's no way he's taken those mediums for 21 laps.
No, if he boxes now, he's pretty much settled himself in for a 2-stop, which means he'll be banking on another safety car down the line.
Yeah. So I think he's got to stay out as it stands, even if he'll be slow on the restart. And even though he'll be hoping still for another safety car, I think it's the best bet for him to stay out, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Gabba's got 3 seconds. I think that was on the pit entry.
Yeah, we might see that in stewards then if there are no more corner warnings for Gav in the rest of the race. He could get that removed. We've seen that happen a few times before. So yeah, we've got a South African Ferrari 1-2. Jody Scheckter would be very proud. And yeah, not much to say. They've stayed out on the hard tyres. We've got Airways, a hard tier driver, so maybe he'll be pitting at the end of this lap to stay away from the fight. That's a possibility. But we've got Wookie and Jackster on fresh hard tyres as well as Flatty. So that 4-way scrap that we had at the start of the race has been kind of divided, with Avinash staying out on the worn tyres, and Wookie, Jackster, Flatty opting to go to the end on fresh hard tyres. We've also got 2 Williams in the top 10. We've got Mika, probably got a penalty coming up on his way. But yeah, looking solid as it stands for him. He hasn't pit under safety car conditions. He's on hard tyres as well, so it's the best bet for him to stay out. Who else do we have? We've got Connor down in P12, but he's got plenty of higher tier drivers up higher up the order, so he's not too worried about it at the moment. He's also got people who haven't pit. Scotch Ninja's got another 3 second, or is it his first 3-second penalty? It's got to be his first. I'm thinking of Gav, 2 Scotsmen. So
yeah, a first one for 3 seconds for Ninja.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So actually, this is a good moment for a safety car for Scotch Ninja, because he got a safety. A drive-through earlier on, and he was very close to being lapped. So this is his chance of catching up to the pack. He's only half a lap behind about. As it stands away from the pack, so yeah, he will be able to neutralise the penalty he received. He still has a 3-second penalty, but it makes it much more digestible, let's say. Right, who's caught your eye in this first stint of the race?
Whilst you've been focusing up at the front and telling people what's going on, I've been hopping up and down the grid as we were going along. Obviously, the major things that stick out is obviously that front pack that was very close together in the opening stages, and then we had a few battles towards the tail end of the field. It was more spread out. There was like just the odd 2 pairings here and there, obviously with Connor and I think it was Sambo close together in the tail end of the top 10. But as you say, that 4-way is kind of split up now, because obviously Avinash stayed out on the medium tyres, which will not be at the absolute best about now, because they've been racing for 6 laps before the safety car came out. So the mediums very close to the end of the life. I mean, he doesn't really want to be on them for much longer. I mean, and he's got his teammate behind him on same lap old tyres, but on the hards, which will be feeling a lot more better. Mika, as you're saying, during qualifying is pretty much learning the game, and as we got the safety car coming in, so that was a late-ish call.
Yep. The drivers at the back had only just joined. And before we get to the restart, please everybody, don't forget to like and subscribe. I will be getting to your comments later on. Avinash has gone for the restart. It's a clean start, I'd say. Yeah, he's got a 6/10 gap to Smith. As you said, they're both on as-worn tyres, different compounds, albeit. This could be the opportunity for Avinash to run away for a bit, because he's got Smith and Airways. Of course, Airways is a high-C driver, but...
Scottish Ninja just retired in the pits.
Oh, okay. I was saying Smith can be a bit of a... bottleneck? I can't remember the expression.
Cork in the bottle.
Cork in the bottle, thank you very much. He can be the cork in the bottle and create a gap for Avinash at the front, because he's going to need to pit sometime soon. Maybe in the next 4 laps, maybe. He can probably take them to lap 13, so kind of extending that first stint, but he can't extend it much further than that, because the hard tyres are fresh and they're going to be much quicker than what he currently has. That gap hasn't really increased, it's actually reduced since the restart. What's been happening further down the order? Connor's up to P10, so he did a double overtake somewhere, or someone had spun around?
Saviour before the restart was not in his car. He rejoined just as they started going again under racing conditions. Mika's just gone round before the hotel.
That's one of the positions
the DRS has just been activated.
It has indeed.
And to be honest, you said about Scottish Ninja almost being a lap down. Yes, he's out of the race now to retire in the pits, and he was able to catch back up to the pack. The safety car has also helped Connor out, because beforehand he was carrying that end plate damage on his car, so he was able to fix his front wing during the safety car. So he's a beneficiary from that safety car.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I had completely forgotten about it. He's got fresh tyres and a brand new front wing. So Connor will be very happy with the timing of that safety car, which can't often be said about safety cars for this on this track for Mercedes. What's happening at the front? We've got Wookie, who got past Smith on one of the DRS straights.
He's looking very racy. But Avinash locking up. That'll be those medium tyres at the latter stages. So Wookie's going to be really on the diffuser of that Ferrari. Avinash staying out. So expect Wookie to probably make a move going down towards turn 6, or even just sitting behind and wait for the move down towards turn 9, because as we know, 2 detection points for those 2 DRS zones, so even if you overtake a car going into turn 6, you'd end up losing the position again going down towards turn 9.
Exactly. So a bit of a lock-up again, but Wookie is well... Oh yeah, that's a much better exit there for Wookie, so he's got the choice. He can either go now and try and pull away, or he just sticks around and goes for the move later on.
Jackster just behind making the move as well.
Yep, it's very important for Jackster to get that move done, because he needs to stay with those 2 in front, and especially Wookie, because Wookie is the guy he's fighting with on the current strategy. So Jackster still gets the DRS from Avinash, but he'll be wanting to overtake Avinash as soon as possible, because... Okay, I'm not saying Avinash is slow. I'm saying his tyres will probably not be as quick right now as Wookie's in this foul sector. Very, very low speed in this section, which means that we've got less downforce. It's banked as well, so your car is really relying on mechanical grip, which translates as your tyres. So with weaker tyres, you're going to be slow in this section, and he's stuck really nicely to the back of Wookie. He's only lost about a tenth here in that foul sector, So now he's back in a high-speed section with straights and everything. So he should be able to benefit from the toe and not lose out too much to Wookie. As we have Chris Bailey in P4 showing the might of his talent. Smith is under pressure though. Worn tyres, and he's under pressure from the fresher Gav behind him. And it looks like this could be a dull overtake on Smith. Yeah, he's being zonted. Yeah, he's being zonted.
Yeah, still as you are with the top three. Obviously, Wookie with the fresh hard tyres, Avinash on 11 lap old medium tyres. He's got to be looking at pitting very soon because those mediums won't be going that much further, I wouldn't say, because the pit stop tends to be around here. I think it's 13 on the medium tyres and 16 for the hard tyres is the default strategy that the game gives you.
Yeah. I mean, as it stands, it would be okay.
Got a yellow flag, I think that is Sabi.
Yeah.
Had a moment.
He does have some front wing damage. He's got an end plate missing. So he's got a 3 second time penalty. Doesn't really matter, to be honest.
Jackster really needs to get Avinash here because Avinash has dropped outside the 1 second to Wookie. So Jackster really needs to look at making a move as soon as possible to be able to keep Wookie within eye distance.
Yeah, it's absolutely crucial that he makes the overtake now because, as you said, there's a 1.6 second, 1.7 second gap that's opened up. So the DRS will help him claw his way back. But Chris is going for the move here, is he? I'm sure they're in a party together. No, he doesn't go for the move. I'm not surprised by that. But don't be surprised if they leapfrog and Chris helps him up the order. I know how Chris thinks. Yep, that's what's happening.
Well, you've got to think as well, they're both Mercedes powers cars, so...
Oh, yeah. Toto's probably giving some orders to Chris right now. Chris, you must play the team game right now.
Yeah, Chris and a Mercedes, that's not been a while. Well, to be honest, last time that happened was when you were teammates with him and you two really showed how strong a good pairing can be in a championship because you went back-to-back in Tier 1 in the Constructors.
Yeah, well, I always like to put a bit of a caveat to that because, okay, we went back-to-back champions, but we were two drivers against one, effectively. We needed two drivers to beat Ugoni. How pathetic is that?
That just shows you how strong the Italian stallion is.
Exactly.
Mind you, as me and Andrew said during Tier 1, Tier 1's going to be very tasty next season. So obviously with how close Ben took it, but that's Tier 1, this is Tier 3. As I think Chris is going to decide to make a move by Jackster and... give Jackster a face full of the Williams rear wing for a few laps. But Jackster will be using Chris now to try and close that 2.6 second gap.
Exactly.
Mind you, he's got Avinash and Flattery not too far behind neither.
Going around the outside and Flattery's gone to the inside, but yeah, Avinash has got a good exit there. That's the benefit of being on the outside for that corner, and he has managed to keep that position. Having the outside.
Still going on those medium tyres as well. 13 laps old, those mediums. He's really stretching them out.
Well, I'm thinking that right now is probably the best time to pit, unless he really is banking for unless he's really banking for a very late safety car. Well, very late, considering the tyre life, late in the tyre's life. Yeah, I think that's his only hope. If he pits, that's, as you said, maybe a 20-second loss. Where would that bring him? No, it's here. 20 seconds would bring him to 24 seconds, so around P14, P15, somewhere around there.
Quite a bit of traffic to deal with as well.
Exactly, yeah. Big DRS trains. So, Yeah, I think I would have picked, but if he feels okay with the tyres, he's doing the right thing. Stick with these guys, use the DRS, and try and salvage something from this race, because these guys are going to be quicker than the pack that's following you. So if he pits in maybe 3 laps, if he manages to get there, he could actually get back out in front of the pack. So it could still benefit him extending this this stint. Chris isn't really catching up on Wookie. That gap has kind of stabilized around the 2.5 second mark. It's looking good for Wookie at the moment.
That could be to do with tyre life, because Chris is quite a few laps older than Wookie, so Wookies are going to have, as Avinash has finally decided to pit off those medium tyres, he's done 14-15 laps on those mediums, so
yeah.
He'll be booting the hards on and going to the end. But yeah, Wookie's hards are 9 laps old. Chris has been on those hards for quite a few number of laps. He pitted, I think, on the end of the first lap off the soft tyres, so he's 14 laps on the hard tyres currently, so there is quite an age gap between the 2 tyres, which is, mind you, the gap is coming down gradually to Wookie, and Jaxter's obviously sitting behind Chris to utilise Chris's quicker pace at this point, and also the DRS to get even closer.
I think Connor just went around the outside of CBG Sambal, and Sambal stayed around the inside for the chicane.
Ooh, that's tight. Ooh,
the good. Oh yeah, yeah. There was slight contact, I think, before, and then
it was a little nick.
Yeah, nothing to be worried about. Yeah, and I think Sambal, just ran wide on the exit of the cow corner. I think it was that one. Was it that, or was it the chicane in the first sector where Hulkenberg was? I think it was that chicane, the second one.
Oh, turn 7 where
he was hanging down like a cow. So it must have been the second chicane.
Yeah, as Night Shadow's got a penalty, 3 seconds, as Smits decided to come in off those hard tyres, so he's putting on the medium tyres for the last stint.
I mean, that Hulkenberg moment of hanging down like a cow, now it's funny, but at the time it was actually scary, like, can he get out? What's the car going to do? It's all good now that he's fine and everything, but yeah, at the time it was a bit scary. As you said, Smith in the pits and Avinash, they were 1-2, and now you've just got to add a 1 in front of those numbers. They're P11 and P12 as it stands. No points for them, so it's looking absolutely ugly in the constructors' standings, because safety cars haven't happened at the right time for them.
Yeah, it's looking strong for Mercedes, because obviously Jack's currently P3, but he has got Chris, who's a Tier 1 driver, ahead of him, so net P2, and then Connor in 7th, so decent handful of points, and Mercedes are 25 points off of Ferrari. Saviour's retired. I think that looks to be on track. Yes, it is on track.
That's a weird one. I saw he was disconnecting and reconnecting.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's an internet issue or if he's been having hardware issue, because that could be a front wing issue. Single track is going to the pits right now. We've got Night Shadow. I was expecting a bit more from Gav tonight. He's 5 seconds away from P4 as it stands. I really thought that he was going to be fighting in towards the very pointy edge end of the grid. Safety car. No, Colin, it's not been a safe. It's not been raining safety cars like Tier 2 had. How many were there actually? Was it 4 or 5?
We had four full safety cars and a virtual safety car in Tier 2. We had 2 safety cars within, I think it was 4 laps. We didn't get any green flag racing till about lap 6. So even before the race had started, strategy went out the window relatively quickly in Tier 2, unlike Tier 3 at the moment. And that gap out front is down to 1.5 seconds.
It is indeed. I think a few tables have been smashed by Toto. That got the motivation up for Chris to close that gap to Wookie. He's found just over a second since we were speaking about it.
Jax is struggling to keep it on track out of turn 1, so...
He ran wide, but he's still close to Chris, who has found some more time in that first sector, so I think Wookie must have had a bit of an issue.
Now, so he's just outside of... actually, I think he's just inside it, but I don't think he was
he
for
won't,
the detection point.
No, it wasn't. It was after the detection point, as you said. So he will be getting the benefit of Slipstream.
He will be getting it in the second one, though, because he's inside a second, so this is definitely helping Jackster, as Nuts is disconnected as well.
Yeah, even when he's not at Mercedes, he's still doing the work for Mercedes. What a man, Chris Bailey.
Will he do the same for Ferrari, though? That's the question. And because Jackster's been keeping in touch with Chris and using him for the toe to keep him Wookie's range, they've gapped Flattery by nearly 5 seconds as well.
Yeah.
Yellow flag at the host, I think that's Dhabi.
Can you leave the party and rejoin the party, please? Because we can't hear you very well. As Connor's got a 3-second time penalty down in P6, but still looking like they could score a bit more points here. Chris Bailey will be pitting in the next few laps, so that will be promoting Connor up to P5, excuse me, and Avinash and Smith will probably both be gaining positions from that as well. Ma has got the fastest lap with a 25.9. Hello, Bit. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, it's a bit better than earlier on. It must be your internet.
I don't think my connection can handle the cross-play.
Oh.
That well, so...
Okay. Right, yeah, at the front we've got a very, very, very marginal gap between Wookie and Chris, and you can expect Chris to let Jackster by in a few moments. Like Toto asking, okay, good job, you didn't put it in the wall. Please let Jackster through. And, a bit of a wiggle on the exit, yeah. He did well to keep all 4 wheels pointing in the correct direction. It's Mercedes engine powered 1, 2, 3 as it stands. As Gav gets another 3-second time penalty, he's going to the pit. Yeah. So unfortunately for him, there's definitely 3 seconds that will stand. But he might be able to get one of them away, because 2 of those warnings were in him going into the pits. He's gone from soft tyres. Okay.
He's got 8 or 9 laps still to go, so I don't think the softs will be too good towards the end, but my guess is he's probably looking at taking the fastest lap.
I think so, but no, I was going to say he's in P12 as it stands, but he's actually
There's quite a few high-tier drivers ahead of him. There's
exactly. He's
Armar and Lorpe.
He's in a point-scoring position, so he can score points for him, but not for his team. Wookie's found a bit of time on Chris on this middle sector. So it's gone back down to 7/10. Never doubt a Tier 1 driver. Jackster's just behind him. He honestly, I don't know how Jackster's going to be thanking Chris. They're going to be meeting up next week in the Netherlands, I think. So I'm worried about how Jackster's going to be thanking Chris for giving him that much of a tow and bringing up to Wookie. But Wookie definitely will not be thanking Chris for the hard work he's been putting in for Jackster.
Nah, Chewbacca not in a very happy mood, I wouldn't think.
No.
And mind you, I think Chris will just be sitting there behind Wookie and waiting to do his final stop, because he's going to have to pit within... Oh, got on the orange curb through turn 7 a little bit, which unsettled the car. Followed Wookie through doing the same line. But he's not really putting Wookie under any pressure. He's just keeping tabs with him. I think he's just trying to keep Jackster within DRS as well.
Yeah, that could be what's happening, yeah. Something pretty important's happened in the Constructors fight. Avinash is ahead of Connor now. So that means that he's going to be outscoring Connor. Yeah, so that's 10 and 12 points potentially for Ferrari, which will probably be promoted even further when Chris pits. And Laupi as well will be pitting towards the end of the race. So that could potentially be P12 and P8. P4 and P8. So that would be 12 points and 4 points, 16 points for Ferrari. 14 points, meaning 14? No, 16. Sorry, meaning that the gap goes up to 41 points to Mercedes. And even if Jackster wins, it won't be enough for the Constructors title. So Avinash and Smith doing absolutely what they need at the moment.
As Chris is making a move for the lead, he's decided to take Wookie this time, and Jackster's going to follow him as well. So Jackster gets ahead of Wookie before turn 6.
Oh.
So, a bit of a weird close. Wookie's trying to get alongside again through turn 8 towards turn 9. But with Jackster having DRS off of Chris has saved him, so Jackster net P1 now.
He is indeed.
Wookie. So the pendulum swings again, but as you say, Chris and Laupi still have to pit, which will promote Smith up 2 places.
Yeah, and Avinash, despite being 12 seconds off P4, he's doing exactly what Ferrari needs at the moment. Laupi, is he going to the pits? No, he must have had a bit of a moment there. The top 3 still stuck together, 7 seconds ahead of Flatty. Flatty will be finishing on the podium again. Finishing, I wouldn't say finishing the season in style with his championship.
Sorry, a bit of a slide for Wookie through turn 2.
Yeah.
Kept the car under control though, so able to keep tabs with Jackster.
What's going to be interesting here is what Chris and Jackster are working on together. I think that with the DRS that Chris is giving Jackster and Chris pitting on the penultimate lap, he'll be telling Jackster to save as much ERS as he can for the final lap, because that's where everything is going to be used by Wookie to try and overtake Jackster. Not that many time penalties, actually, I've just noticed.
No, there's only the handful. Gav carrying 2 on 6 seconds.
Yeah.
You've got Armar on 13, but he's a higher tier driver. You've got Sabi down in 18th with 9, and apart from that, you've got Connor who's in the top 10 on 3. So there's another place for Sambal to possibly get if he can get within that time window. But Smith's lost a place to Laupi, whilst he was battling away with Sambal, who's 4.7 seconds off Connor. So Connor still safe for P6 at the moment, despite carrying that 3 seconds.
Let's have a quick look at the tyres. I've been hiding them so we had a bit more space on the screen to watch the racing. We've got Connor on 17 lap old tyres with CBG Sambal. Jackster and Wookie and Flatty on 18 lap old tyres. That's when they pit for the first, well, the only safety car we've had so far in this race, as we've got a yellow flag in sector 2. That is Mikawa having a bit of an issue in that long banked corner. Tough race for him as it stands. As I mentioned earlier on, he might be visiting the stewards later on, and he's very far down the order, but I'm just happy he's getting to the end of the race, to be honest. It's not an easy track, this one. Jackster still feeling comfortable enough in P2, doesn't need to get ahead of Chris. All he needs to do is keep an eye on Wookie behind him, although Wookie is now really getting close to him. It's a 2/10 gap between them, 3/10. It's not a comfortable gap for Jackster.
No, because especially when Chris decides to take his stop towards the penultimate lap, it will then release Wookie, and then and Jackster, and then Wookie will have 2 DRS zones to be able to attack Jackster. Even if he doesn't get it in the DRS zone we're in now, there's still that second one which is after, so... And
exactly,
with that being on the final lap as well, we could end up having like flashbacks to 2021. Sorry to throw that one in there, because obviously Max Verstappen taking the move around turn 9 on the final lap of 2021 to take the title. Bear in mind the difference in tyres.
yeah, and the fact that there's no rule bending. Like air bending with Airways, who's just behind CVG Sunbelt right now in the P8 fight. Airways will be pitting towards the end of this race. We've got Smith down in P11, who will be promoted a few further positions, with single track as well being higher up in the order. What else do we have?
Connor's going to be coming under a little bit of pressure now, because Sambal is within 3 seconds of Connor, because he's only, what is it,
1.9 seconds
just
behind.
9/10, yeah, so he's easily within that 3 seconds of Connor, so Connor looking not so comfortable in P6 right now, and to be honest, Smith's not too far off either, so he could be looking at 2 places dropped for Connor at the moment.
Yeah, as it stands, Mercedes could be winning the battle, but they could be losing the war.
Iver's retired in the pits.
Yep, he has. Unfortunate to see that on the final race of the season. So many drivers sticking together here. It's getting very, very crowded in that middle pack. Let's have a quick look at what's happening in front. We've still got Chris, Jackson, and then Wookie. Jackson and Chris switching around. Chris should be pitting at the end of the next lap, and this could be an opportunity for Jackson to pull away. Probably making the best out of fresher tyres than what Chris has. Oh yeah, that was a bigger twitch, and yeah. Now it's, whoa, a spin for Jackster now.
That's put Wookie ahead by over nearly 2 seconds, so that maybe settled that one.
That probably has, yeah.
And
more table smashing in the Mercedes garage.
He's getting absolutely swamped behind tier drivers, but
he's struggling in the middle.
There's contact.
No.
That looked a bit messy.
Jackson's finding a bit of time. Wookie's struggling in that hairpin. Jackson's 1.7 seconds away. He won't be having DRS, so Wookie can pull away right now. But he's found a bit of time in that final in that first sector. And Wookie now he'll be wanting to get an overtake on Chris, but he won't be having DRS actually on this lap. No, he wasn't in the DRS gap in DRS range for the detection point, so he will be losing out on a bit of time on that middle sector, and he's got a 1.8 second gap to manage over Jackster to clinch this race win. And what's the gap between them two in the championship?
It's 12 points, so it won't be enough for Wookie to take.
But Jackster's got a 3 second time penalty, so
yes, he has.
If Flaherty catches up,
It's not over until the fat lady sings as we're on the final lap.
Exactly. It's not over till Michael Massey sings. Flatty.
It's
going to be interesting to see what Flatty can do. Because he's looking quick right now. Jackson's got to be careful here. Jackson's got to be very careful. He's lost 0.3 in the first sector to Flatty. Flatty's on an absolute charge here. He could be getting P2 and yeah, despite that not hurting Jackson in the championship, he could be losing out on P2 as well. So
it's 3.4, 3.3 as Flattery enters turn 6 and 7, 3.2. It's around 3.3, 3.2 at the moment, and I think it's about to drop under 3 seconds.
Yeah,
near enough. So Flattery really on a push. So yeah, it's dropped under 3 seconds. So that puts Flattery currently net P2.
In the end, it's all worked out really well for the Aston Martin driver.
Wookie's got 3... No, Winky, sorry.
No, Winky.
Got excited.
Wookie or
Winky? I seen the W and thought, oh...
Well, you saw the W, and that is exactly what Wookie is seeing right now. He's seeing the W. He's going to the pit wall to thank his mechanics for a great pit stop during the safety car. And Jackson's dropped it in the final corner. So he's losing out on P2, but could he lose out on the podium with Avinash as well? He's got to get across the line, but no, Avinash is getting the podium.
Scenes.
Absolute scenes. Oh my goodness.
That's going to be one hacked off Dutchman right now.
Oh yeah, yeah. And Smith will be the next one to cross the line
P6,
on the lead lap.
Ferrari with the constructors.
Yeah, yeah. Congratulations to the ragazzi from South Africa. Showing proud colours of Italy, as Gav has got a time penalty as well. He's down in P13. What a disappointment for him. Well, he's been pitting a bit more. I think the strategy was messed up for him. As you can see, he's on 2-lap-old soft tyres, so he went for another pit stop because those softs were just not working. Yeah, disappointing race for him, disappointing result. Connor got P9. Winky P12 on his return to MRC. Whoa, a bit of Toko drift there from Gav. That was absolutely gorgeous. Abu Dhabi drift, and that will be the result for the race of both McLarens round off.
Oh, he's gone round again. He's having fun.
I think that's what it is, yeah. No, going for a last one. Nah, come on, Gav. You've disappointed us there.
It's the last race. You don't have to worry about tyres.
Wow, what a race! The game's given Laupy the driver of the day, but I'll be giving you a bit more time to have a think about who you would like to...
I've got a rough idea.
Yeah.
I've got a rough idea, but I'll let the podium and the results run through first.
So yeah, a Brit in P1, another Brit in P2, and not a Dutchman, it's a South African in P3 in Ferrari, who have clinched the constructors title, so congratulations to them. Yep, plenty of champagne, which isn't champagne, it's sparkling water. Right, time to have a look at the grid, the results, with Wookie, Flatty and Avinash on the podium. We've got Jackson P4, Chris Bailey after having helped Jax to stay at the front. Smith, CBG Sunbelt, Single Track, Connor, Airways, Laupy, Winky, Armour Red, Night Shadow, Nuts, Sabi, Mika, Hive Eclipse, Saviour and Scottish Ninja to round off the results. Bitty, this is your time to shine.
Driver, it looked like he wasn't going to be getting it at one point because of obviously the strategy between Chris and Jackster hunting him down after he got a bit of a gap.
Yeah.
I would say Wookie, but keeping himself clean and benefiting, and obviously the misfortune of Jackson on the final lap of the final at the final corner. I may even give it to Avinash because obviously he went ridiculously long on those medium tyres, which put him way out of position when he pitted, but he still managed to keep his nose out of trouble, claw his way back up, and miraculously found himself on the final step of the podium. So I might give my vote to Avinash.
I'd like to give an honorary mention to two guys who've had their first race in a long time, Mika and Winky. Not the easiest race for either of them, but they still got to the end, so well done to them. As you said, faultless race from Wookie. A few moments here and there, but never any mistake that put his race in jeopardy. And yeah, very good race by Avinash. I've got to agree with you. Taking those mediums for so long and yeah, dropping down the order, still making it work to a podium. So yeah, I think we can agree on giving Avinash the driver of the day vote here.
Yeah, right. It's not it for tonight though, is it? There's still one more to go.
Exactly. So what time is it actually right now? It is, if I can find my phone, 9:20. So in 25 minutes time we'll be revving our engines up again around Abu Dhabi for one last time this season. It's going to be the Xtreme race, no assists. So yeah, anything can happen in that race with spins and everything. Yeah, meet us there, and I tell you what, Bit will be joining us as well. So enjoy your evening, everybody, and see you later on in Xtreme.